are we just dealing with a KD and Kyrie that just do not want to be coached, and because of that, it's basically paralyzed Nash to the point that he can't do anything? And like that to me is a bigger organizational issue, but it doesn't excuse Nash, and it definitely obviously doesn't excuse KD or Kyrie.
See, that's where I want to come in on this, right? And much of what you both of you guys are saying is right, but you have to visualize a lot of things going right for or the mechanics of it is complicated, is what I'm saying. Is like what you guys are saying, it's the mechanics of it is very, very complicated. I myself, judging Steve Nash over these last two games, I prefer to keep it simple. Steve Nash would be fired if we're talking about a loss right now where the adjustment that Steve Nash made was he took the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands. That's just the default.
They're never going to do that.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. If I'm asking Steve Nash to do something, I'm saying the superstars are the superstars. What I need you to do, Steve Nash, is to make these other dudes effective. Let's talk about the shooting percentages of everybody else not named Kevin Durant and not named Kyrie Irving from the other night.
Hold on. Before you say that, I just want to say this. What you're saying is right, but it's wrong. And the reason why, before you even go dig deeper, don't even look at the role players. They played their part last game.
Okay, but
they did their job.
How do you not give Nash? These are
Nash
limited dudes. These are dudes that if they don't get the ball in specific places, these aren't all-star caliber players. These are players that only function in a specific system or getting the ball in a specific way. Nash got them the ball. I don't understand.
And we would have, because our stars decided to play hero ball. That cost us.
Oh, okay, but listen. You could survive. Kool-Aid is 3 for is 4 for 17 terrible? Would you agree that's a terrible night? 4 for 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam, would you also agree 4 for 17 is a terrible night?
Yeah, but
put in context that he got 20 free throws.
It's a contextual thing.
He got 20 free throws inside of that 4 for 17.
Listen, he wouldn't have scored as many the points that he had. The man was 0 for 10 in the second half.
But
do you understand? Do you understand?
This is what I think the issue is, though. I think the issue is that, like, for at least for, I think I'm speaking for me and Kool-Aid on this, is that 4 for 17, like, they are, like, if you shoot 4 for 17 in 3 different games, they could be completely different 4 for 17s. If you shoot 4 for 17,
but I'm talking about last night in particular.
Last night he took difficult contested shots where he was getting beat up.
And he could have had a bad shooting night. And he could have just only made the shots that he shot 2 3-pointers, stepping into it with nobody on him, and he missed them both.
That's no rhythm. Like, we're not going to sit here and say that star players don't miss shots. That's what we're not going to do.
But that's not what we're saying. We're saying star players don't go 0 for 10 for a half, for a second half, and 2 star players can't go 1 for 17. It just
no, you're right. But
there's levels
of that.
There's levels of bad. No, there's they could have been bad.
But we were winning. We were up 8 with 9 minutes left with them playing terrible. This is the issue.
And that's the point.
Dragic carried us.
Listen.
He had very...
Kool-Aid, you got to hear me out on this, because we'll go in a circle if we don't come to grips with like we can agree to disagree and move on, but we'll go in a circle if we don't answer the specific question, which is the framework of my whole my whole idea.
Okay, but but just long as you putting it in the full context of it, I'll be quiet.
I am saying that the coach did the job to a level where the superstars could have looked like the heroes and had a bad night. 4 for 17. Like if they hit three more threes, or 2 more, or 4 more, or 4 more twos, we win the game. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? There's levels of bad.
Okay, Eves, let me say this. So, Eves, the same way you want us to look at that flip side, that, okay, if they hit this shot, if he hits 2 more, this or that, here's the simple basics of what we're saying. If KD and Kyrie embrace the double, triple team that they embraced in the first half, Bruce Brown and them will get easy baskets. So you know what happens then? They will eventually get open shots. The one thing we can say is when they were moving the ball and players was moving, KD and them got good shots. It didn't fall, but they got good shots.
The system works. That's what bothers me the most about it. The system works. It makes bum players like Bruce Brown. I'm sorry. I feel bad for calling him a bum. I apologize. I didn't mean that.
No.
But a player
the system works, but see, you want to just say, okay, Nash did the right thing right then and there, and that's fine. But in coaching, there's always something else. So M.A. he adjusts, right? They ramp up the physicality in the second half. Right? Nash didn't counter. You should have brought Dragic back on the court. Let Kyrie and KD be on the wings where they're actually catching the ball, where you have to know where they're at, as opposed to I'm watching you. Because all
they out rebounded them. How? I'm asking myself how they did that.
That's called team group rebounding.
Okay, but how do you not give Nash credit for having the smaller, more finesse team, and he out-rebounded his
remember how you just told me we're going to go in circles?
I understand it, but how do you not give him credit for that? Like, you're going to whip him for...
Didn't you just hear me give Steve Nash credit? I'm giving him credit. But what I'm not going to do is allow him off the hook neither. The same way you not letting the stars off, I'm not letting them off neither. What I'm saying is adjustments should have been made when you're watching your star players get double and triple team and struggle to get open looks.
Okay. Sam, go ahead.
So I'm actually going to go a step further than Kool-Aid, which is actually funny because I've actually been more in the middle and a moderate on the Nash stuff as opposed to radical one way or the other. I actually thought that their first half. I texted one of my good friends is a Celtics fan, and I texted him, "This lead will not stand. This is a complete house of cards." And I wasn't even impressed in the first half, and I'll tell you why.
Yep.
I thought that first half.
You and Matt are horrible in our group chats.
No, but I'll tell you why. No, because I'll tell you why. Because that offense that they had in the first half. First of all, they started out 9-0 because of Bruce Brown making shots, and I think any offense relying on that is insane. And let me tell you why, and I'll give a counter.
It sounds like you're agreeing with me, Sam. I don't understand. Where are we disagreeing?
No. You'll see where I'm going. Last year when Joe Harris shit the bed harder than anything we've ever seen before, in recent Nets playoff memories, he was getting good shots. No one was getting mad at Nash in those moments because the ball was moving and Harris was getting wide open and getting really good looks.
No, if you remember, the slander of Nash last year for that was for leaving Harris in.
But that's why I'm trying to say that I feel that I have been fair on him because I thought last year blaming him was crazy. I think he's handled a lot of crap that no other coach really in the league could do because he's just that type of guy and can handle that. But let me say this. I think that there is a very big difference, and this goes into not all 4 for 17s are created equal. I think Joe Harris shooting poorly last year versus what KD has done in this series and shooting poorly are very, very, very different. Are very, 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 very different bad shooting nights. There is a big difference between missing open shots in motion, like no one within 6 feet of you, versus KD, where Boston has clearly mastered through like probably watching film all of his shots, where he likes to be, when he likes to
missing open shots.
No, but yesterday he was not missing a lot of open shots. Yesterday he was trying to get into a rhythm, and he he forced a couple of shots, but he had his shot blocked multiple times. He looked like he looked totally out of sorts, and I get that a lot of is on, and I get that a lot of that is on KD for sure. But there's also a certain element where it's like, dude, Nash, you have to do what's right by your players, and your stars right now are really struggling to get in any type of groove, and that was even with KD getting to the free throw line on his own. Like, that wasn't through.
Right, you can't even blame the refs, and he was getting foul calls, but he still went. I don't want to simplify. I want to read something to you, gentlemen. I know both of you have read it, but I think it's important that as a part of this conversation, as a part of this argument in particular, that we read this and this quote from Kyrie Irving, which to me, once you take 0-10 from KD for the half, 1 is from 17 in the fourth quarter between KD and Kyrie together, all the bullshit that we've went throughout the season. Everything we've done to accommodate these dudes and put our championship hopes around them, and they asked him a question, and this is how he answered. I just think the timing is right. Their window is now for these young guys that are on this team that have matured. They've been through series together. They've been through seasons together. They've been through battles together. And I got a chance to experience some of that. And now being on the opposite end and going against a healthy Celtics team, obviously without Robert Williams. This dude, man. Obviously without Robert Williams. But you're just seeing there's a difference in their verve. There's a difference in the way they approach the game. And also, they have a set offense and defense that they rely on. Ime has been a huge part of that. You got to give credit to that guy that's sitting in the president's role as well now. We don't get to see him as often. Brad Stevens definitely has a lot to do with it. My God. Has there ever been a player that says words out of his mouth that...
Why are you shocked?
Kool-Aid.
So let's go to the structure of things in all seriousness. And I've been saying this, and my DMs is full of, I want to say crybabies, because they could just message me out loud when I wrote it. I have to DM me. KD and Kyrie don't fit. And that's not a good pairing. That pairing is only good for all-star games. It's not a seamless blend unless you have a true point guard. So they haven't really been on board from get-go. Meaning, yeah, you decided y'all wanted to play together. That's the one thing y'all was aligned on. Now, my thing is, if KD was healthy from the get-go, would they really be playing together? We don't know, right? Because he was hurt. Because then KD could really say, as they like to say, he followed Kyrie, or vice versa. We knew the Nets didn't want Kyrie by himself. They took him because you got KD. So now, we keep hearing how they both signed off for Nash, I don't believe that to be true.